everyone. Welcome to this deep dive. It's all about winning, but not like you usually think of winning. This is about winning from within.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, so we're going to unlock some seriously strategic insights, I think, for better leadership and personal growth. But I got to tell you, it's not as touchy-feely as it might sound.
Right.
Our guide for this inner journey, the book we're looking at is Winning from Within by Ariel Fox.
It's a really cool exploration of how our inner world really drives our success.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we focus on external strategies for winning or, being successful.
It's external stuff, yeah.
But this book is really a great reminder that true power comes from mastering what's happening inside.
That's what intrigued me so much about this book. It's not about, silencing these inner voices that we all have.
Right.
But it's more about understanding those voices.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
we all have an entire team in there.
Yeah.
And sometimes the members of that team are not exactly on the same page. Has that ever happened to you?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Like that feeling of being pulled in different direction. Like
Yeah.
you want to go for that big dream, but then that voice of caution pops up.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And that internal tug of war is exactly what the book calls the inner negotiator.
Okay.
And it's not some mystical concept,
Right.
but rather a way of understanding the different forces within us, our motivations, our fears, our aspirations.
So it's like, okay, we've got this team in here. Let's meet the team.
Let's meet the team.
Oh,
So the book breaks it down into 4 main archetypes. And I love this.
yeah.
So we have the dreamer,
Mm-hmm.
the thinker, the lover, and the warrior.
Uh-huh.
I'm already so curious how these play out in everyday life.
Oh, it's so relatable. Because each one has such a distinct personality.
I can imagine.
You've got the dreamer who's always looking at the big picture, imagining possibilities.
Okay.
Then there's the thinker, the one who wants all the data, analyzes every angle, every risk,
Uh-huh.
The lover seeks connection and harmony,
Okay.
wants everything to feel good and be,
Makes sense. And then the warrior is all about action, pushing us to overcome challenges, taking risks.
So is it like having a board meeting in our heads all the time?
Sometimes it feels that way.
Yeah.
So, imagine, for example, you're offered a promotion at work.
Okay.
The dreamer might be ecstatic about the new opportunities.
Makes sense.
Meanwhile, the thinker starts assessing the risks and responsibilities.
Ah.
And then you've got the lover who's wondering how this is going to impact your work-life balance
Yeah.
and relationships.
That's such a perfect example. Like, it can be both beneficial,
Yeah.
like, oh, this is exciting, this is going to be great.
Right.
But at the same time, it can create internal conflict.
Exactly. When these archetypes are aligned,
Okay.
it's like having a high-performing team driving you forward.
Makes sense.
You experience greater clarity, confidence. You make decisions that feel right on every level.
I love that.
But when they're in conflict, it can lead to stress and decision and even, missed opportunities.
So the key takeaway here is we shouldn't try to silence these voices. We should try to understand them.
Yeah, learn to manage them.
Right.
That's where the real power lies. It's about becoming the leader of your internal team,
I like that.
recognizing each archetype's strengths and finding ways to integrate their perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
It's like conducting an orchestra,
Oh, that's a good one.
finding harmony among all the different instruments.
This idea of internal alignment is so intriguing. So what happens when we don't have that inner harmony?
Yeah,
Does it kind of spill over into our external world?
absolutely.
Oh.
Think about it. If you're constantly battling inner conflict, it's going to show up in how you interact with others,
Mm-hmm.
how you make decisions, even how you lead a team or, lead a project.
Right.
For instance, someone who talks about collaboration but consistently acts competitively,
Yeah.
they might have an overactive warrior archetype.
Or someone who's always, preaching about chasing dreams but never takes action. Yeah. Maybe they have a thinker that's constantly, highlighting all the risks and holding them back.
Exactly. This is why self-awareness is so crucial.
Yeah.
By understanding these internal dynamics, we can become more intentional.
Okay.
We can bridge the gap between our intentions and actions
Makes sense.
and ultimately become more effective in all areas of our lives.
So how do we go about achieving this inner alignment?
Yeah,
Does the book offer like practical tools and strategies?
it definitely does.
Yeah.
There are some really tangible strategies that we can put into practice.
Okay.
And one that really stands out to me is the power of self-reflection.
Self-reflection. Okay.
It's about taking the time to really listen to those inner voices, understand what each archetype is trying to tell us.
Yeah.
Journaling, meditation, even just quiet contemplation can be incredibly helpful here.
So I imagine visualization plays a role too, right?
Absolutely.
Like I've heard about picturing yourself, successfully navigating challenges. It's almost like a mental rehearsal.
Visualization is a powerful tool. By vividly imagining ourselves achieving a desired outcome, we can program our minds for success.
So it's almost like training,
It is like training.
but it's mental training.
It is.
And of course, emotional intelligence.
Huge.
That's got to be a game changer here.
The better we understand and manage our emotions, the more skillful we become at navigating our inner world and our interactions with others.
The book also mentions something called the pause principle, which caught my eye. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, this one's all about creating a conscious space between stimulus and response.
Okay.
It's that moment where instead of reacting impulsively, we pause.
Uh-huh.
We become aware of our internal state, and then we choose a response that's aligned with our values and goals.
So you're not just reacting, you're actually choosing how you want to respond.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's particularly helpful in those high-pressure situations where our emotions tend to take over.
That sounds incredibly valuable, especially in leadership roles where every decision carries so much weight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The pause principle allows us to lead from a place of awareness and intention
Right.
rather than simply reacting to external pressures.
So this all ties back to the very real challenge of work-life balance. I think so many people feel that tug of war between their professional ambitions
Right.
and then that desire for a fulfilling personal life.
It's a constant.
That is. It is.
Yeah, that's a great point. And the book speaks to this directly.
Yeah.
It suggests that inner alignment is key to navigating this balance.
I can see how that would be true.
When we're internally conflicted, we're more prone to burnout, and that feeling of constantly sacrificing one area of our lives for another.
It's like our inner dreamer is pushing us to work those extra hours,
Yeah,
but the lover is craving quality time with loved ones.
exactly. And that internal struggle can create so much stress.
So it's not just about winning at work, it's about creating a life that feels truly fulfilling and sustainable.
Precisely. It's about winning in a way that honors all aspects of ourselves and creates a sense of inner harmony that radiates outward into our relationships,
I love that.
our work, and our overall well-being.
This idea of winning from within also seems to connect to the concept of resilience, right?
Yes.
Because life inevitably throws us challenges.
It does.
So how does mastering our inner world help us navigate those difficult times?
That's where it gets really interesting because the book suggests that resilience isn't just about toughness or grit,
Okay.
but about adaptability, self-compassion, and that ability to bounce back from setbacks.
Which makes sense because beating ourselves up over mistakes only depletes our energy
Right.
and doesn't really help us move forward.
Exactly. When we cultivate self-compassion, we create a space for learning and growth even in the face of challenges.
I like that.
And the book frames it as embracing a growth mindset, recognizing that we're all works in progress, and that even our setbacks can be valuable learning experiences.
So it seems like the key message here is that winning from within starts by understanding and mastering our inner world.
Right. It's about recognizing that our greatest asset is not just our intelligence or skills, but our ability to lead ourselves effectively.
It's almost like that's the foundation, and then everything else builds on that.
Exactly.
And that journey of self-leadership is ongoing, constantly refining our inner compass and aligning our actions with our deepest values and aspirations.
It's about creating a life that feels congruent and fulfilling from the inside out.
Before we move on to the next part of our deep dive, I want to leave you with something to ponder. Think about a recent decision you made.
Yeah.
Which of your inner archetypes were most active? And how might a different balance have led to a different outcome?
That's a good one.
We'll be back in a moment to explore some more practical tools and strategies for mastering your inner game.
Awesome. See you soon. It's amazing how much power our inner world has in shaping the reality we experience, you know?
Right. It's like we're constantly negotiating with ourselves.
Yeah.
But what I'm finding so encouraging is that we're not just passengers in this process. Once we become aware of these internal dynamics,
Right.
we can actually influence the outcome.
Absolutely. And the book gives us a toolbox for doing just that.
Okay.
One of the tools that it highlights is the inner wise one.
The inner wise one. Okay.
Have you ever had that gut feeling, that deep inner knowing that tells you what the right path is, even if it doesn't seem logical,
Yeah.
or everyone else is telling you something different?
I think we all have those moments of intuition. But sometimes it's so subtle, it's hard to distinguish it from all the other noise in our heads.
That's where the inner wise one comes in. It's that part of us that has access to a deeper wisdom and intuition that goes beyond the rational mind. It's often described as that quiet voice that speaks to us when we create space for stillness.
So how do we tap into this inner wisdom more consistently? Because sometimes it feels loud and clear, but other times it's more like a whisper.
It's a practice just like anything else. Mindfulness and meditation are incredibly helpful for quieting the mental chatter and creating that inner space for the inner wise one to emerge.
It makes sense that when we're bombarded with information and external stimuli all the time, it's harder to hear that inner voice.
Exactly. The book also suggests practices like journaling or seeking counsel from a trusted advisor to help us reflect on our experiences and discern the wisdom that might be hidden within them. Sometimes having an outside perspective can illuminate things we might not see on our own.
It's like having a sounding board, someone who can help us see our blind spots and make sense of our experiences.
And it's important to remember that the inner wise one isn't always going to give us the easy answer. Sometimes the wisdom we receive might challenge our assumptions or push us out of our comfort zones.
But those are often the moments that lead to the most profound growth, aren't they?
Absolutely. It's about learning to trust that inner voice, even when it leads us down a path we didn't expect. It's about having the courage to follow our intuition, even if it goes against conventional wisdom.
Speaking of things that can hold us back, let's talk about the concept of inner sabotage.
Yeah.
I think we all have those moments where we seem to get in our own way, even when we have the best intentions. What's going on there?
Inner sabotage is a powerful force, and the book tackles it head on. It suggests that this often stems from those unresolved inner conflicts we were talking about earlier, particularly when certain archetypes are dominating or suppressing others.
So, for example, if someone has a great idea, but their inner thinker keeps focusing on all the reasons why it won't work, they might never even get started.
That's a classic example.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe someone deeply desires a loving relationship, but their inner warrior, perhaps wounded from past experiences, pushes people away out of fear of getting hurt again.
It's almost as if our inner protectors trying to keep us safe can sometimes end up limiting us.
Exactly. The key to overcoming these self-sabotaging patterns is first recognizing them. We need to pay attention to those recurring thoughts, feelings, or behaviors that seem to be holding us back.
And then it's about understanding the underlying dynamics. Which archetypes are at play? What unmet needs might be driving the sabotage?
That's where the real detective work begins. And once we understand the root cause, we can start to address it. This might involve reframing negative thoughts, developing healthier coping mechanisms, or practicing self-compassion.
It's like we need to be both the therapist and the patient for our inner selves.
Yes. And it's a process that requires patience and persistence. But the rewards are incredible because overcoming inner sabotage can unlock our potential in every area of life.
I imagine this is especially relevant for leaders. Many struggle with that inner critic or limiting beliefs that can hold them back.
Absolutely. Effective leadership really does start from within. The book emphasizes cultivating self-awareness, mastering those internal negotiations, and leading from a place that's aligned with our deepest values.
It makes sense that if a leader isn't confident in themselves, it's going to be hard for them to inspire confidence in others.
Exactly. Leaders who are in tune with their inner world are more likely to be authentic, empathetic, and effective. They create a space for others to do the same.
And that authenticity builds trust and genuine connection, which are essential for any strong relationship, both personally and professionally.
Absolutely. When people sense you're being true to yourself, it creates a foundation of respect and fosters deeper connection.
So we've talked about overcoming inner sabotage and building resilience. But what about those times when we feel stuck? We know we want to make a change, but can't seem to get unstuck. What advice does the book offer for those moments?
Feeling stuck is a common human experience. The book suggests that one of the most powerful ways to get unstuck is to reconnect with our sense of purpose. What are our core values? What truly matters to us?
It seems like when we lose sight of our why, it's easy to feel lost and directionless.
Exactly. Clarifying our values and reconnecting with our purpose can reignite our passion and give us the motivation we need to move forward.
And I imagine sometimes getting unstuck also requires a little bit of risk-taking, stepping outside of our comfort zone and trying something new.
Sometimes the best way to break free from inertia is to simply take action, even if it feels scary or uncertain.
And that's where our inner warrior can step in, right? That part of us that gives us the courage to face our fears and go after what we want.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's about feeling the fear and doing it anyway.
I love that reframing of courage. So we've discussed a lot of powerful tools and strategies, but it's important to remember that this journey of winning from within is an ongoing process. It's not about reaching some finish line.
It's a journey of continuous growth and self-discovery. And what's so fascinating is that this idea of winning from within is not new. It has deep roots in ancient wisdom traditions.
That's intriguing. Tell me more.
For centuries, philosophers and spiritual teachers have emphasized self-knowledge and inner mastery as the foundation for a good life. It's a timeless principle that transcends cultures and historical periods.
So it's not just a modern self-help trend, but a universal human pursuit that's been recognized for ages.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes this book so compelling. It takes these ancient wisdom teachings and makes them relevant and applicable to our modern lives.
It's like bridging the gap between ancient wisdom and modern living.
Precisely. And it reminds us that the journey of self-discovery and inner transformation is something we all share, something that has been relevant for centuries.
Before we move on to the final part of our deep dive, I'd like to leave you with a question to reflect on. Think about a time when you felt truly aligned and at peace with yourself. What was happening in your life? And how can you create more of those moments of inner harmony? We'll be back shortly to explore how this idea of winning from within can extend beyond ourselves and contribute to a more just and compassionate world. Welcome back to our deep dive into winning from within. It's been so fascinating to explore how mastering our inner world can lead to greater success and fulfillment in our own lives. But what's really exciting to me is how these principles can create a ripple effect, extending outwards to impact the world around us.
It's like that saying, as within, so without,
Yeah,
When we cultivate inner peace and alignment,
right.
it naturally radiates outwards into our interactions, our communities, even the broader world.
The book suggests that inner transformation isn't just about personal growth,
Right.
but also about social transformation.
Yeah.
So it's not just about winning for ourselves, but creating a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive.
Exactly. And one of the key ways we can do this is by cultivating greater empathy and compassion,
Empathy.
both for ourselves and for others.
It seems like when we understand our own struggles and the complexities of our inner world,
Yeah.
it becomes easier to connect with and understand the experiences of others.
That's such a key insight. Empathy isn't just about feeling sorry for someone.
Right.
It's about truly stepping into their shoes, seeing the world through their eyes, and understanding their perspective, even if it's different from our own.
And that kind of understanding can help bridge divides and create more harmonious relationships.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing our shared humanity and acknowledging that we're all interconnected. The book also highlights the importance of speaking our truth
Okay.
with both courage and compassion.
Because when we're afraid to speak up for what we believe in
Right.
or to challenge injustice, we're actually contributing to the problem.
Exactly. The book suggests that when we find the courage to speak our truth, even when it's difficult, we can inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of positive change.
So it's not just about winning from within, but about empowering others to do the same.
Precisely. And the book encourages us to use our influence, no matter how small we think it might be,
Right.
to make a positive impact on the world.
It's a reminder that even seemingly small actions,
Yeah.
when done consistently and with intention, can create a powerful collective impact.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We all have unique gifts and talents that we can use to contribute to something larger than ourselves.
Yeah.
It's about finding our own unique way to make a difference.
That might involve volunteering our time donating to a cause we care about, or simply using our voices to advocate for those who are marginalized, or speak up against injustice.
Right. It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected,
Yeah.
that our individual well-being is inseparable from the well-being of the collective.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into winning from within, I want to leave you with a final thought.
Okay.
What is one small step you can take today to bring more inner alignment and peace into your own life? And how can you then use that inner strength to make a positive impact on the world around you?
It's been a fascinating exploration, and I encourage you to keep reflecting on these powerful ideas and see how they resonate in your own life.
Remember, the journey of winning from within is ongoing, and it has the potential to transform not just our own lives, but the world we share. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring your inner landscape and creating ripples of positive change.